Hello and welcome back to Saturn Rising Tarot. I have a message today for someone who embodies the Empress energy. It seems like the Empress card is haunting a lot of these readings. Also, please be aware that this is neither a male nor female energy. It could apply to any gender. Um, so if you feel that you embody the Empress energy, this is your message today. This was the first card that came out. But immediately, what became very apparent is you are basically recovering from something drastic that happened in your life. You got the Ten of Swords, and it not just the Ten of Swords, but it came out reversed. There was a lot of reversals in this reading, and I don't always read reversals in decks. Some decks I like to keep upright, but this particular deck favors a lot of reversals. So it's kind of like telling me that you experienced something very intense, that you are kind of coming off of the end of it. You're escaping something, it seems like. And immediately following the reversal of the Ten of Swords, we got the Moon. So there was a lot of confusion, a lot of hidden things going on, probably lies, secrets that were kept from you. And I was getting heavy that this was a relationship that you are coming out of, especially with the Queen of Cups, which came out reversed, which would imply to me that there's a lot of feelings involved, which again is what I was picking up on is a relationship that you are exiting from that was very unhealthy for you, especially with the reversed Queen of Cups, is suggesting a lot of codependence, over reliance on someone. I'm getting not being heard a lot. You maybe would try to communicate your feelings, but no one was really listening to you. Your needs were not considered. You basically realized that you were over giving to someone who was not giving back to you in this energy. And so it's kind of like you moved on and realized that you were coming at a choice point where you had to make a decision whether to stay or to leave this person because you were starting to realize this was not good for you. So this is basically a really big breakup for whoever is resonating with this. If you didn't go through a breakup recently, maybe this isn't your reading. It could be also like a friend breakup or even losing a job if you want to look at it that way, but I'm getting heavy relationship vibes in this. And so we also, because there's a lot of cup energy, especially here with the next card, we got the Five of Cups reversed. So big on you're recovering from something, you're walking away from something that doesn't serve you. It's kind of like the opposite energy. You experience the Five of Cups with this person, a lot of grief, and you're moving on from it. You're like, I recognize that this is not for me and it's been damaging my life. So yeah, you're kind of like with the reversals I'm sensing you're transmuting the energy into something else a lot here. So we also have the King of Wands also in reversal. So this to me signifies the energy of the person that you are leaving behind, that you were involved with. And I immediately got with the King of Wands reversed a player energy, so someone who did not take you seriously, someone who was just messing around. They may not have been cheating on you, but I mean, maybe they were cheating on you. But I just feel like they just didn't really consider you that much and just wanted to mess with their options. And mirroring it, we also have the Knight of Wands here with the lower energy. So we went from the King of Wands to the Knight of Wands. So it's like kind of like a descending order here where it's like in your relationship, things just went from bad to worse with this person. They just revealed that they were not trustworthy. And they may have been charismatic at the beginning. There was a lot of passion I'm sensing with this Knight of Wands energy. This person came across as very charming to you at first, which is what pulled you in. And you slowly start to realize that it was not the kind of energy that you were looking for, and you just realized that you didn't really resonate with them in the end. It was kind of more deceptive to you with all these reversals. It's like you thought they were one way and realized they weren't as trustworthy as you thought, or you were just blinded by the charm and you started to slowly realize who this person was over time. Especially with that downgrade, you were like, oh, I thought you were the King of Wands, but you're actually the Knight of Wands. And I'm sensing here with the Temperance card that you start to realize that this person didn't really balance you in the way that you expected. Like were you were expecting something from this person and it's almost like they weren't reciprocating in the way that you expected. Things like you were overcompensating for this person's lack of ethics, I feel like, in this relationship. And especially following it with the Page of Cups, I'm getting that it was a communication issue. Maybe this person didn't know how to talk to you, or they, again, not being heard coming up a lot in this is that you weren't being listened to. You could communicate to someone all you want, but if they're not hearing you, if there is no comprehension on the other side, it's kind of like there's no point, is what I'm getting with this Page of Cups. You almost felt like you wanted more than what this person was giving. You felt more emotionally invested than this person was, and it became very apparent to you. So, your reaction to that with the Hermit was I'm sensing there was a separation at some point. You took distance, you realized this wasn't for you, and you isolated yourself from this person so that you could kind of gather your thoughts about the relationship and really analyze for yourself without their influence whether this person was actually good for you or not. And it's interesting that the conclusions that you came to around this relationship came up judgment reversed. And this is a very intense judgment card, I'm aware. This is why I chose this deck in the first place to do this reading, because I don't know, there's a lot of strong energy in this deck. But especially with this card coming out reversed, I feel like I get a lot of like you knew intuitively what this person, like their nature is, but you were looking past it. It's like there was a lot of like with a lot of the reds in this and the laser here. It's like you saw the red flags. You had a lot of insights about who this person was and how this relationship was making you feel, but it's kind of like with it reversed, like you were ignoring a lot of it. You were looking past a lot of the behavior because you just wanted to keep things together. You wanted to catch the high of that beginning like honeymoon phase of the relationship, but the longer it went on, the more things degraded, and it's like you got to a point with the tower here that you just couldn't look away from those red flags anymore. And things, especially with this energy, things became like they fell apart. Like everything just ruptured. There might have been a really big event. You had like a big fight with this person. There was a lot of angry words coming up, disagreements, and you realized that you could no longer go on with the Hermit card, and you went no contact with this person. And when I was looking deeper into this relationship, I really got a lot of pain coming up with the Ten of Cups reversed. Again, so many reversals. There's so much energy of big hopes and dreams that you put on this person and this relationship that did not follow through. Like they gave you a lot of promises that they couldn't keep, and it all compounded with the tower moment of you realize this person was not going to give you what you wanted. They overpromised more than they gave, and you realize that. And there's a lot of heartache in that of like you imagined a life with this person, like committed, happy future, children, a house, whatever. You wanted a traditional life with this person, and you slowly start to realize they were not capable of that. Especially with the Knight of Wands. Like, this person maybe promised that to you, but you realize over a long period of time that they were never going to give you that. So, my condolences to whoever is experiencing this heartache right now. But that is what is coming up in this reading. Um, So, when I asked like what your plans were going forward, because I sensed that you have already stepped away from this person. This heartache energy is past energy that you have left behind. So I'm sensing a lot of strength here with the three of coins of you have already moved on. Like you've already made plans. You're building your own future, by yourself. You're no longer really even thinking about this person because you're like, you know what? I'm going to make my own life. In fact, I'm already there. I've already arrived. And what's really interesting is when I took this deck out, I accidentally left a card out when I was shuffling. I had no idea that I left a card out until at the very end of this reading, when I finally reached the Three of Coins, I realized that I had left out this card, and I feel like that was on purpose. It's very synchronistic. We got the Six of Wands, which is I'm like a really big sign of victory. Like you made it. This is your congratulatory moment of like I've made it good. I've reached the end of my journey and I'm returning home with abundance and a lot of celebration going on, people clapping for you. So it really is an uplifting message from this reading, and it's like this card was withheld because it didn't want me to see the end here, the happy ending of the deck, because most of it was so much dark heartache energy, and I'm like, oh my goodness, is this even going to get any better? But it's like it was holding out for me. Like, this is what the end goal is for you. This is your happy ending that you are building for yourself. And you're going to experience it. May not feel like it right now if currently you're deep in the heartache, but rest assured, you are going to get to this point from your own merits. And so also the oracles that I drew are in confirmation for that because I drew the opal card yet again. This is another reoccurring card on this channel of someone who has reached a higher state of spiritual development. They have achieved a higher vibration. They've transmuted these darker energies and they're here to exist in that higher frequency. And another card that kind of matches that here is with this deck, the Seven Heavenly Virtues, Key to Goodness, which also suggests a higher frequency here. And I also wanted to read from the guidebook for this deck specifically because I thought it would be relevant why it's the Seven Heavenly Virtues, which I thought was interesting. It lists them here, so I'm going to read here. You represent spiritual enlightenment, divine knowledge, and wisdom. You have faith and believe in all that is good and meaningful. You have a deep intuitive understanding of God, the angels, and the universal spirit. You know the keys to goodness. You are being asked to use this knowledge to empower and teach others. So it lists here what the seven heavenly virtues mean. With this guidebook here, it says faith, belief and trust in the right things, hope, belief that goodwill will prevail. Very much the optimistic end note of this reading here. Charity, unlimited loving kindness towards others, fortitude, never giving up, justice, being fair and equitable towards others, patience, accepting the grace to forgive, and temperance, just like temperance arrived in this reading, practicing self-control and moderation. So it's showing that you embody these qualities already, and it's kind of like you realizing that this person cannot match your opal energy here. It just could not go on, and you had to, with the judgment card, you realized what you had to do. You had to go off and build your own life and embody these virtues, and possibly even forgive this person on your own time. But that's neither here nor there. It's more focusing on what you are bringing into this world, what you're building into the future, and you achieving new heights in life. But yeah, that's what I have here for today. If this reading was helpful for you onto your journey, remember to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you so wish to speak about this journey of yours if it resonates with you. But with that, I am out. Peace be with you.